Hey guys, so we're going to make a quick video on this little 1974 Briggs 5 horsepower, Model 13 of course. It has a new carburetor on it. It's got this type of air filter, which it's enough to get by, but it's not the original one, but it will work just fine. It just don't look quite right. It's got the box type, what I call tiller muffler on it. It's got something that was on here. It's got a bearing. And you tell it was cut off or something. Probably a water pump, I would say. No, might have been a generator. It's possible, but don't quite look like a generator. Usually it's just a tapered end on there. And usually there's no bearing on this end. But it could have been. It's got this weird setup on the oil here. I won't change that. That's going to leak. It's broke anyway. But it's just kind of neat how it is. None on that side. But what makes this different, it's got it's set up to wrap a rope around it instead of having a recoil. And this probably had a recoil at one time. As you can see, looked like there were bolts in them holes. But there was some of them that were made like this. Usually the real old ones. This could have been put on there, right after the engine was new. Maybe the recoil broke or something. Someone just put that on there off of an older engine. I gotta take this flywheel shroud off. I want to do it off camera. This needs straightening, and this appears to be rubbing, so I need to straighten that out some too. But yeah, I want to do that off camera just to keep from boring you, make the video shorter. But it does have a new carburetor, and this is the pull-out type. And the problem with these aftermarket pull-out types, the engine will run probably fine, but the choke is so loose, as soon as you pull it, the vacuum pulls it back in. So that's the only problem with that. So let me do a couple things off camera, go and get it mounted on the base, and I'll probably siphon the gas that's in it out because it don't look right. The gas looks cloudy, like there may be water in it. So I'd rather drain that out and instead of having issues that was just because of the gas. So, and it also needs oil put in it too. There's like barely any oil in it. So. Alright, so we got oil in it, some fresh gas. Get ready to put the pull rope on there. You can make one of these out of just a regular pull rope handle and a piece of string. And on the end, you just got to have a pretty heavy knot tied in it. Always wrap it clockwise facing it. That's the direction that the engine spins in. So I'm going to give it a little shot of carburetor cleaner and choke it. See what it does. Hopefully the throttle's set. It's not in the off position. I always like to try to get it on compression. You really miss the recoil when you're working on an engine. I didn't check for spark. Just kind of assumed that it did because it was advertised as a running engine, but you never know. I didn't see nothing. Check it one more time just in case my eyes are messing with me. Yep, we don't have no spark, so let me take the flywheel cover back off and just make sure everything's hooked up and everything and nothing's pinched or nothing. So I unhooked the wire that was going over to a bolt over there, thinking maybe the wire was shorted out or the insulator wasn't no good. Still didn't have spark, so it's definitely the points. I mean, it's possible the coil's bad. So with this type, ordinarily you'd have a starter clutch here. So now you got a 15/16 nut that you got to use a deep well socket on. It's also possible the flywheel keeps sheared too. So we'll have to check that. The flywheel's got to come off anyway, so we can check it. Now, the key looks like it's good, so that's not the problem. You get the cup, then you get this washer, then you get the nut. That's how that's set up. Let me go ahead and pop the flywheel off, and we'll look at the points here in a second. Alright, so I just figured out what the problem probably was. There's water inside the cup here. So that tells me that the seal up here is not sealing. So I'm just going to blow this off with compressed air. And that's probably about all it really needs, honestly. But we'll go ahead and touch up the points. So turn the engine over till the points close. Just kind of move that around different directions. This looks like a new set of points and condenser anyway, so probably nothing actually wrong with it. It's probably just water comes in up here around these wires, gets the points wet, and keeps it from working. So I'm dry all this off. I'll put some former gasket or some type of silicone up there to help seal it, and then that'll probably never happen again. So I just put a little bit of clear RTV silicone up here. If you really want to make sure it's not going to leak or anything, put a real fine bead all the way around where this goes, and that'll seal it off completely. It's usually not a problem. Or it'd also be a good time to upgrade to a magnetron coil and just do away with the points. But I kind of like points in condenser. I'm either way on it. If this is going to be on a generator, something you're going to be relying on, I really recommend the magnetron, because you don't want to be out in the dead of winter doing all this. So keep that in mind too. So it kind of depends on the application. If it's a novelty engine or an old piece of equipment that's used, you know, once a year just for show or something, then I would stick with the points. Or if you're just doing a restore on it and it's probably not even going to be used on anything, then go with it. So on this cup, there's a little tab that sticks out. You want to put that so it goes, get to where you see it. It goes up against this part of the flywheel right here, this little tab part that sticks out. That way, all that torque is going directly onto the flywheel, and it's not trying to rely on just the tension of the bolt. You're not going to be able to see it in the video, but anytime I do this, if points of condenser is working really good, it'll fire at a really low RPM. So when I do this, it's sparking. It's kind of a small spark, so I might get a new spark plug and check it again, especially after I get the rope on there and crank it. We do have sparks, and then points probably did need clean, just because they have moisture in there, probably had a little bit of corrosion on it. Alright, so I also want to add that I don't know nothing about this engine. It's advertised as running, and I don't know if it smokes or not. It may not. It might be a mint engine. It might be low hours, especially if it did come off a water pump or something. It's usually a low hours engine. I only paid $25 for it, so can't complain. Just about any part you look at is worth $25 on it. So hopefully this will start right up. That's trying. Also, the spark was really good, so I just kept the spark plug that was in it for now. Well, it's got potential. I'm going to turn that screw out just a hair. I don't see no signs of smoking, so that's a good thing. Might be a pretty good engine, guys. The exhaust smells really clean. I don't smell no signs of oil burning. running engine, guys. No smoke or nothing. The only problem I'm seeing, you probably noticed it too, the gasket between the carburetor and the tank is leaking. So at some point I'll take that apart and put a cork gasket in there. That's one way to fix that problem, really. So, alright guys, I think we got a good engine. No signs of smoke, and the exhaust is clean. Like there's no, you can't usually on the older engines you can always smell it, a little bit of oil burning, but you don't smell it with this one. It's a good solid engine, guys. Hopefully we can get the bearing separator on this and pop this off. Might be another video, I don't know yet. It's like a good engine, guys. It may eventually, depending on what it goes on, put a regular recoil on it just to make it a little easier, you know. But I'll save all this stuff to put on something else that's older or something. The only other problem, this choke was trying to walk out, and it was making it choke just a little bit. But once I get the carburetor tuned in, it seems like it's taking gas good. And usually, on the old engines, you'll throttle up and you'll see a little puff of smoke, but I don't see nothing with those ones. So it's either really low hours or it had been rebuilt at some point. So, alright guys, this video is longer than I thought it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and end it and move on to the next project. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.